to introduce you to Gerald Golden, or Jerry. Jerry, you came from the U.S.
Yes, I came from New Jersey. I'm a professor at Rutgers University there.
How did you hear about the international conference here in Windsor?
Well, last year I had a sabbatical leave from my teaching, and I chose to spend a good part of my leave attending writers' workshops and conferences. And I actually found this conference online, and it sounded like a really interesting meeting and a very intimate atmosphere, so I decided I would try it, and I came.
Now, what do you feel is the value for writers in attending conferences like this? Because I know I don't want to spend the money, but what value is in it?
Well, for me, the main value is the inspiration, to hear from writers who have published, who have influenced me, who have really succeeded in telling the world what they want to tell the world. And I think that's really important. There's also a lot of value to those who are looking for techniques of how to get published, how to meet agents and things like that. But for me, the biggest value has been the inspiration.
And so tell me a little bit about your inspirations, because I know one of the genres you write in is children's books, and you've brought a couple along, and I'm just going to ask you to let me hang on to one of these for a minute. Tell me about your children's books. This is called The Fierce and Gentle Wolf.
Yes, well, that's actually my second children's book. The first one was called The Mouse of Gold. And I wrote these books in collaboration with a Scottish author who owned an art gallery at the time, Jennifer Doherty. And we invited Cara Lockhart-Smith, who's an established British children's book author and illustrator, to do the illustrations for us. And it was a marvelous experience for me, because my field is mathematics and science and education. And so to write creatively and to see the book come into existence, and then to be able to go into classrooms in Scotland and read the books to children who are so fascinated with an American professor coming over to talk with them and answer their questions. This for me was a really fantastic experience. So I began to take writing a lot more seriously. It's something I had felt all my life. Had I not been a scientist, I perhaps would have been a writer. And so now I am seriously engaged in writing some adult fiction.
The illustrations in here are watercolors. Are they original watercolors?
Yes, Cara did original watercolors for our book, and part of the marvel of the experience was that she understood the characters, who are mostly animals, very, very intimately. And as she created the watercolors, there was the feeling of seeing the characters that we, in writing it, had envisioned actually come to life and be real. And that was an exciting experience.
What's your next project?
We're working on a third children's story. Hopefully that might complete the trilogy. And I'm working on a novel and several short stories. The novel is set in the late 1960s. A group of concerned young people who are against the Vietnam War and struggling with the social mores of the time meet up with some of the real issues of life in my novel.
Well, I wish you great success in the rest of your work. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much.